Hello and welcome into the New York Jets and Carolina Panthers pregame show. What is going on? I am Matt O'Leary. I'm joined as always by Connor Long. Connor, I got to be full transparency, full honest with you. I screwed up the titling real bad last night. I put New York Islanders right after I did my post-game show, but I love this comment from Luckton Earthling. Not sure the Islanders have a much different chance of beating the Panthers than the Jets do. Probably not wrong.
No, it's hard to argue that. Then I see NAA ball talk say maybe the Islanders are providing wide receiver reinforcements. I mean, I think Matthew Schaefer, Matt, might be a better pass catcher than Josh Reynolds or Alan Lazard or any of the guys on this Jets roster today. No Garrett Wilson. I think this is the nightmare that we were thinking about before the season starts when the pro people who wanted to trade for a wide receiver two ahead of the year. Now our worst nightmare is playing out. This team is 0-6. They're without their number one pass catcher, and the only reason that this offense has any sense of hope thus far. So, look, the fact that you're not going to be watching Garrett Wilson today as well also stings. The trade deadline's coming around. The Breece Hall rumors are beginning to heat up, so we've been hearing that. I'm not dealing Breece Hall if I'm the Jets, Matt. And from the fan perspective, I can't do 8 weeks of Isaiah Davis, Khalil Herbert, and Kenena Wangu as my top three running backs. Love Isaiah Davis. I've been an Isaiah Davis fan for a while. Can't have him as my running back one.
No, I don't blame you. And I am rocking the Breece Hall jersey today just because I don't know how many more game days I'll have left of being able to rock that with him as an active player for the New York Jets. I'm very on the fence for trading Breece Hall, honestly. And I think my preference would be to keep him around, more so just like reading the writing on the wall. I know Aaron Glenn keeps saying that they're not going to trade Breece Hall, and maybe he sticks to his word. But if they're 1-7 at the trade deadline, 0-8 at the trade deadline, I would not be surprised to see guys like Breece Hall or Quincy Williams, if healthy, moved.
Absolutely. And I think the number one player that I'm tabbing as someone who I want to see moved off of this New York Jets roster is Michael Carter II. And Aaron Glenn is so tone deaf when speaking to reporters, Matt. It is absolutely befuddling to me. Like, he's going out there saying, oh, we're going to have packages for both MC2 and Jarvis Brownlee Jr. MC2 has been great for us this year. He has been one of the worst slot cornerbacks in all of football. He has been a full liability in coverage. He's been a liability when it comes to tackling as well. Get a pulse, Aaron Glenn. The Jets have Jarvis Brownlee. There's something there. There's upside. Better than just having him be a cap casualty at the end of the year. Try to get something from Michael Carter II at the trade deadline. I'm tired of this Aaron Glenn baloney at the podium.
Yeah, no, I get that. I don't think he's done himself any favors this past week, especially at the podium. With Michael Carter, I think, I mean, it depends on what their plan is for Jarvis Brownlee, but I thought he looked really good in this most recent game against the Denver Broncos. Michael Carter downgraded to out. We're not going to see him this week. So another week of Jarvis Brownlee. If he plays well again, hard not to move off of Michael Carter. I don't know with his contract situation if you're going to be able to get all that much for him in a trade, but if someone's offering you honestly just about anything, I think you'd take it because you're just going to cut the guy, like you said, at the end of the year anyway.
Absolutely. So I'm looking at MC2 as a guy I do potentially move. I'm also looking at Quincy Williams, and that's not to, to kind of undermine what he's done throughout his tenure as a Jet, but let's be real, he isn't coming back. Kiko Maui Noah continues to steadily improve. And Matt, I was speaking with Kiko on Tuesday. He spoke to me how much that, Quincy Williams has impacted his development. Jamie Sherwood even mentioned Marcelino McCrary Ball, which I found interesting, but I don't think Quincy Williams is going to be back on this team next year. I think Kiko Maui Noah is ready to step into a full-time starting role. We've been able to see him continuously improve week in and week out. So I'm tabbing Quincy Williams, San Francisco 49ers as a fit. Robert Saleh over there. Obviously, Williams earned his keep under Robert Saleh. Fred Warner out for the year with an injury. Keep an eye on that situation.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. We saw Quincy have some really good years under Robert Saleh. And, I like Quincy Williams a lot. He was a really good story. They picked him up on waivers, turned into a really, really good starter for this Jets team.
All pro.
Yeah, all pro. You're right. And, I've been saying this a lot, but they kind of made their decision once they paid Jamie and Sherwood. Yeah. You're not going to pay two linebackers what, $15+ million a year. I don't know what Quincy Williams is going to get on the open market, but you just paid Jamie Sherwood a long-term extension. Quincy's going to be 30 years old. I don't think he's back in any capacity. So again, it's going to come down to health because we haven't seen him since I think it was the Tampa game in week 3. So he's got to play, I would imagine, before the deadline.
Absolutely. So you're going to need to see him get his way back onto the field. MC2 is out now for the second week in a row, dealing with a concussion. So that's a situation to monitor as well. Matt, when I look at this matchup and I look at how barren the Jets are at the wide receiver position, obviously being without Garrett Wilson, Arian Smith has to be this team's wide receiver 1 today. No ifs, ands, or buts. Josh Reynolds does nothing for you. Allen Lazard does nothing for you. You reached on this guy in the 4th round. Now let's see what he could do in a starting role.
Yeah, he's going to get more reps, obviously, because there's no Garrett this week. But we haven't really seen that much of him at all through the first 6 games. He got 4 catches for, 24, 28 yards, something like that through the first 6 games. I'm very curious to see what they do with him and what their plan is for him today. Do they take shots down the field with him? That's, one of the big reasons why they drafted him, right, was the speed and his deep threat ability. Or is it more of the underneath stuff? Do they try throwing him a screen? Do they try the end around with him? I'm curious to see how it's a big test for Tanner Engstrand. And what is he going to do in this game to try to get something going offensively after they had -10? I'm going to keep bringing it up because it's just unfathomable. -10 net passing yards, the lowest in a game since 1998.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy to even fathom, to even picture that. And at the end of the day, I don't think Tanner Engstrand is to blame. Can he be better in multiple areas? Sure. But let's keep in mind here, he's also a first-time offensive coordinator at the NFL level. And I'm sure if you ask Tanner Engstrand, Matt, I don't know if he wants Justin Fields as his starting quarterback. Let's be honest. You can't come away from last week's game as Tanner Engstrand and say, I want that guy to be my starter next week. You really can't.
No, I don't think he's going to be this team's long-term answer. They're going to try it for the next 11 games, and I think he'll play better than what he did this past week. I don't think he's as bad as what we saw in week 2 and what we saw against Denver. I also don't think he's probably as good as what we saw week 1. It's probably going to fall somewhere in between for most of the next 11 games, but they're going to give it, this is really his last chance to earn a spot as a starter in the NFL. I think we all know they're going to be taking a quarterback in the first round of next year's draft. We're going to have plenty of time to talk through all the different names of who's coming out and who's our preference at the position. But this is they're just going to let this run the course, I would imagine.
Thoughts on those fans who were chanting Brady Cook already, Matt?
I don't know why. We watched Luke. It's going to be like watching Luke Falk play the quarterback position.
Exactly. I mean, people think Justin Fields is bad. Please watch Brady Cook try to execute this offense. It'll be even worse. It'll be a travesty. Now, look, I don't think you get any benefit out of starting Tyrod Taylor. I would have pulled Justin Fields at halftime, no question. I'll ask you this, Matt. If Adam Gase is the head coach of the New York Jets last week, do they win that game against Denver?
Maybe.
I think he would have pulled Fields.
You think so?
I think so, yes.
Okay. Well, if they pulled if you believe he would have pulled Justin Fields and put in Tyrod Taylor, then I would say yes. But the reason why I said maybe is because I really put, and not every one of the Jets losses, but that loss in particular last week really comes down to the quarterback play. And I don't know if, no matter who's calling plays, with the execution we were getting at the position last week, if that coach continued to stick with Justin Fields, if anything would have changed. But if your argument is Adam Gase or anybody else would have went to Tyrod Taylor in that spot, then that's a different story.
Absolutely. And I will add this about Aaron Glenn and the team's performance last week. I mean, it doesn't get much worse for Aaron Glenn when you talk about game management and what he's put on display these past few weeks. I listened to Keyshawn Johnson on a podcast with Jordan Schultz, and I think he made an understandable point. Look, someone needs to be helping Glenn out in these decisions on game management, things like that. And then my counter to that right there is, you know this, Matt. The Jets have a game management coach. The Jets literally have someone on their staff. His name is John Berger, and he is a game management coach. He worked with the Giants and their coaching staff for over 30 years. He worked for the league office these past 5 years. Like, it's not like Aaron Glenn is all on his own on these crunch time 4th-and-1 decisions, on the kick it or go for it situations. He literally has someone up in the booth telling him what to do, the game management coach. And before we start previewing this game, I'll just put one more thing in here. That fake punt might be the most poorly executed fake punt I have ever seen of all time. You have your starting running back as your up man who's never played special teams, and all 5 of your starting offensive linemen. Matt, did you see Darren Rizzi running up and down the sideline like the second the Jets took the field, because it was so easy to pick apart? Like, if they needed 3 yards there, they wouldn't have gotten it. It's just because they needed to get 1 yard.
It was a miracle that they picked it up, and thank God they did, because they telegraphed it. Everyone in the world knew what was happening. One, Breece Hall is the up man. That's a red flag, number one. And then number two, like you pointed out, which I didn't notice right away, but on the watch back, absolutely noticed that it was the 5 starting offensive linemen out there. Can you make it any more, like, just at that point, just line up and run a regular play? But thank God they picked it up, because that they couldn't have made it any more obvious what they were about to do.
And that decision from Aaron Glenn, Matt, remember when he called timeout in the 4th quarter to decide if he was going to go for it or punt it? Like, at that point, if you're using a timeout in the 4th quarter, use that time to drop a play to go for it on 4th-and-1. Don't call a timeout and then punt it away. Like, just it's hard not to be weary of this head coach. I get it, it's 6 games in, but some of these decisions are just puzzling.
I get it. And for me, and I think we can transition and start getting into this game, but this is a storyline, not only for this game, but going forward. I know you have people who, at the spot they're in right now at 0-6, they want to see losses and they want to see, the high draft pick. And I get that. And if that's where you are, I'm not going to try to talk you out of it. But in all likelihood, Aaron Glenn is going to come back next year. So what I personally think is better for the team is for Aaron Glenn over the next 11 games to start proving that he is a capable NFL head coach. And wins is going to be a part of that equation. But also, too, just like in-game decisions, I think we need to see a massive improvement there from Aaron Glenn. And that's one of the biggest things I'm looking for, not only in this game, like I said, but over the course of the rest of the season.
Also, I'll add this. People like to comp Aaron Glenn to, think of the 2021 Lions. They started 0-8. They finished 3-13-1. I'll give you a lot of different situations. First, the Lions have so much more talent than the Jets do. The Jets, 2025 Jets have so much more talent than the 2021 Lions do. Like, that's not even a question. This team's roster is 10 times more talented at every position except quarterback, of course. Jared Goff over Justin Fields. That's an easy decision right there. Also, like, Dan Campbell had a massive turnaround at the bye week. That can still happen, sure, but he really turned it on after the bye week, and then that's when they were in every game, and that's where they got all 3 of their wins. So Glenn is going to need to follow that same trajectory. I'll also add, like, I don't recall fans, calling for Campbell's head 10 games into the year. Like, I don't think that was ever the case. I think the players remain bought in. That's what all the Jets say. They say, we're bought into Aaron Glenn, but then you see Garrett Wilson reaming him out on the sidelines entering halftime. So that's, clearly just a piece of propaganda from the players there, absolutely. And I just don't think Aaron Glenn has that aggressiveness that Campbell does. And at the end of the day, there's a big difference between Detroit and New York. It's a completely different market. There are completely different expectations, and you're expected to come in and get wins fast, or your fate is going to fade very, very quickly as a head coach in New York. I don't want to make comparisons too early, but Aaron Glenn thus far, it's hard not to comp him to someone who failed out in this city just a few years ago, not with the Jets, but with the Giants, and that's Joe Judge.
Yeah, you're not the first one to make that comparison, and I hope that ends up not being the case. I don't want to see him go the way of Joe Judge, but it starts this week, and it starts over the next couple games. You have Carolina, who, yes, they're 3-3. They are a god-awful road team. They're 0-3 on the road. They're getting outscored by significant numbers. They're getting blown out on the road. And for the Jets, you have Carolina, you have Cincinnati, and you have Cleveland. Those are 3 teams in a row that aren't very good, and I understand the Jets also aren't very good. But if Aaron Glenn wants to prove that things are different and they are starting to trend in the right direction, it starts right now. You can't wait till you're 0-12 and start winning games. Start winning games now. That's my point.
Absolutely, and I think if the Jets are gonna win a game, it's against the Saints, it's against maybe a team on the road, very vulnerable, like the Panthers, against the Jaguars, like, they have to get wins, like, for pride, for dignity at this point, for
Yeah.
his job, and I know Zach Rosenblatt reported that the Jets are most likely gonna keep AG. You can't tell me that Woody Johnson would not consider a coaching change if the Jets are 0-10 and he's getting clamored online for everything. The question is, does Woody have the balls to realize he made a mistake after 1 year and call for a coaching change after it's like the first real head coach he's technically hired? Because, you hear the excuses for Gase and Saleh with obviously his brother Christopher Johnson making those decisions. So the question is, does Woody have the balls if the Jets are this bad to do what Robert Kraft did in New England, and can Gerard Mayo in favor of Mike Vrabel? I think that's the biggest question here.
Yeah, and I think it's a good question. And, obviously we're not there at that point yet where the Jets are 0-17, but I think that does change things. A winless season, a 1-16 season, a 2-15 season, and depending on, what's going to end up happening with the future of the head coach. But I don't want it to get to that point, Connor. I really don't,
Yeah.
which is why I'm talking about the next 3 games and how important it is on the schedule. We do have a super chat that I wanted to pull up, a couple super chats actually, and then we'll start getting into some calls. I know we have
Great.
some people waiting on the lines. Barney says, "I love that you guys still wear the gear." Faith.
There we go. Love to hear it, Barney. I don't
Yeah,
know if you're
rocking.
still rapping the Jets gear, but we still are. I wear this sweatshirt at school all the time. I think this is a great sweatshirt. It would be even better if I could wear it without getting clowned every day of the week.
Now I am gonna go back in time a little bit on this chat from Barney. Had one earlier. He had a question. Jay called me a fraud when I said on his show that I may not have the stomach to watch the Jets live the rest of the way. Harsh, or is he right? I don't know. I don't know if fraud seems a touch harsh. Are you going to
Yeah.
watch the games at all, or are we just going like complete cold turkey, not watching a single play of the Jets the rest of the year? That would be my follow-up question.
Yeah, that's an interesting question there, for sure. I don't know. I mean, Barney, you strike me as someone who's been a fan for a while. I don't blame you. They're awful. I personally can't stand the people who say, "Oh, I'm not gonna watch the game. I'm not gonna watch the game," and then next week they're just bought back in fully and they're watching every single snap. Like, I'm never a fan who says, "Oh, this team is so bad, I'm not gonna watch them," because at the end of the day, Matt, we're both sickos. We're all sickos. We can't help ourselves, and we love this football team.
Yeah, I mean, I watched every snap of the 2020 season where they went 2-14 and were winless until I think week 15 or 16 of that season.
And you covered that too.
And I did. I did cover it. Were you around at that point in 2020?
So 2020, I was kind of like an every other game fan. Like I wasn't
Okay.
watching every snap. Like I'm still on the young. I'm 14, and I like the year where I fully went like full die hard in the weeds with all the analytics and everything was 2022. That was the
Okay.
season where I fully went all in. 2020 and 2021 were kind of the years, Matt, where like I still had some plans on Sundays. Like now it's the whole week, all of Sundays blocked off from literally all of Sunday from 8 a.m. when I wake up until the Sunday night game's over. But like back then I'd still have plans. I'd kind of still be out. So I was playing fantasy. My first year of fantasy was 2021, actually. So I think 2021 is when I was fully in, because 2021, I don't want to my first year playing fantasy, I'm terrible at math, was 4th grade. I'm in 9th grade now. So I've been playing fantasy ever since 4th grade. So whatever that was, that's kind of when I became the every game diehard fan.
Totally fair. Totally fair. Jetstream is in with a super chat, says, "I want to see Glenn make a change if needed at the quarterback position. If Fields struggles and he doesn't pull him, it'll be hard for Glenn to recover form." What does struggle look like to you? An exact repeat performance of last week? Is that the bar, or is it even like I guess my question is what level of struggle are we talking about here, Connor?
Yeah, no, I agree. I just think the worst nightmare with Glenn in general is the Jets bring him back. The Jets have a top 3 pick. They take their quarterback, and then it's a situation like Brian Callahan in Tennessee where they have such a short lease. They start poorly. The team's up in shambles, and you have to fire him in season. And I don't know if you saw the Diana Rossini article, Matt, but did you see the head coach candidates for the Tennessee
It's
job?
not good. It's not good. It's like Matt Nagy, Arthur Smith.
Yeah,
Those are
Lou
the two.
Anarumo.
Yeah. And then there was another person that I can't think of at the top of my head
Like
right
the
now.
not like a Mike McCarthy, even like nobody, just total scrubs. I think Anthony Weaver might have been on that list, and they still have like a bottom 5 defense over in Miami. So yeah, I mean, if the Jets fire Aaron Glenn, like who do you want? That's the biggest question. I mean, like last year was clear for New England. There was a guy available for them to pick up. I'd say Mike McCarthy. I don't know if the Jets feel the same. I really like Mike McCarthy. He's an experienced guy. He's dealt with a meddling owner. He's been able to develop a quarterback. Like, I don't know if if the Jets are picking in the top 3, you can't tell me that Aaron Glenn should be developing the Jets' future quarterback. Now, I've heard a lot of people talk about John Harbaugh, and my good friend who covers the Ravens and is a Ravens fan, I asked him about Harbaugh because he thinks Harbaugh is the full problem in Baltimore and he needs to get out. And I said, is he a legit candidate for the Jets? He goes, I would laugh so hard if the Jets hired John Harbaugh. So I don't know.
I don't know. They might be a little spoiled in Baltimore. It's kind of like the Mike Tomlin conversation because they haven't won a Super Bowl in a while, but they're good every single year. I think he would significantly raise the floor of this team. The guy that I really look at is Kevin Stefanski in Cleveland. If he's somehow gone after this year, he's a 2-time Coach of the Year winner, offensive-minded head coach. Has been in a horrible situation for years and years and years. I think he would be at the top of my list if he was removed from Cleveland.
I mean, I could see this, Matt. I can see a world where I could see a world where Tanner Engstrand packs his bags at the end of this year. Like, I think if the team is this bad, I could see a world where maybe Engstrand's like, I'm not going to call plays, but I'm going to go with an experienced offensive-minded head coach somewhere, get an opportunity, continue to develop my mind and my innovation. Like, I just think if the Jets are this bad, I don't know if he's going to want to stick around. The only promising area would be if they drafted a quarterback high, which they will, and he started, because then like that's his quarterback. That's who he's riding or dying by. Because if that quarterback is Zach Wilson, he's never getting an OC job for the next 5 years. If that quarterback's Jaden Daniels or CJ Stroud, the rookie season, then it's a different situation. By the way, Matt, did you see this Ian Rappaport report, no pun intended there?
Okay.
The Dolphins are making a change to their quarterback depth chart for today's game, as Quinn Ewers will serve as the backup to Tua Tagovailoa for their matchup against the Browns. So Zach Wilson got demoted without having to see the field.
Shocking. I am really surprised that Zach Wilson is moving down on a quarterback depth chart. Who would have thunk it?
Oh my God. Zach, the fact that he could have potentially had an opportunity to start a football game this year, just knowing Tua Tagovailoa's injury history as well, is is just crazy to me. Like, I would literally take almost any quarterback in the NFL over Zach. Like, I mean, like, I take Brett Rippon before I started Zach Wilson. I'd take anyone. Brady Cook in a heartbeat. So yeah, not pretty over in Miami. At least we're getting to see them struggle, though. However, the Dolphin fans will always say, even if the Jets finish with 3 more wins than the Dolphins, it would always be, you can't beat Tua. You can't beat Tua. We beat you guys in week 4. So the Dolphin fans are always the loud, annoying fans who finish at the bottom of the division.
It certainly seems that way. Connor, I think we need an improvement of this vibe right now.
Yes.
And to me, there's only one guy that we can go to when we need a vibe change.
Well,
and that is none other than Beast Breaker. Beast, what do you got for us?
Last week was the most embarrassing game I ever watched. What the hell was I watching? Was I watching Masterpiece Theater, or was I watching a relapse of last year's ass kicking of 10-9? This team needs a good swift kick in the ass. Severe. I'm talking not just 1, not 2, but 3. 3 kicks in the ass. And we are not looking like a championship team. Aaron Glenn said, oh, we're going to bring all this surprise. You haven't run shit, boy. You've been all this and not enough this. All this, not enough this. Money. So you're all talk, no action lately. You know, the last several coaches we've had, let's see, Gaze, Baum, Todd Bowles was okay. At least he tried his best. I can't take nothing away from him. Salah, big, and Jeff Ulbrich, not good. This is not good. This is bad. I'm talking, look at us. We are, right now, we're at the bottom of the Earth's core. We are like either slipping at straws or what the hell we're doing. But I'll say this, at the end of this season, there's going to be a big fire sale of guys that need to gotta go. And I know who to start at the top with. Clemens has to go. The guy can't cut it. He's lazy. He's cheap.
He's actually played well.
And he also draws penalties that are like, Connor, I know how you like to have an explosion because it's like, no! Don't you do that too? When you're watching it, you're like going, what the hell are you doing?
It's hard to watch, Beast.
It is hard to watch.
It's like you want to have it. It's like having an explosion on Mount Everest. This team needs a good kick in the ass. That's why I say next year, all these players that we get rid of, I say Clemens is going to have to go.
Good take.
Eric Adams has to go too.
Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City.
No. Number 22. That bum on number 22.
Close.
Bye. Yeah, bye. He can't cut it. I do like some Jermaine Johnson. He's bringing something to the table. Keep him around. At least he'll do something with some of these new guys. And right now, Justin Fields is really getting to be very disappointing.
Yeah.
We signed him, and what has he done so far? Does anybody got that video of him, Aaron Glenn going?
It's a Jake Asman special right there, Beast.
Yeah, that's like why? I don't want to see any more of this after today. I want to start 1-6, and then at least finish off Cincinnati, go into the bye week, and then do the best thing. Don't practice, please. For the love of Christ, don't practice. Just win games. Do it for all of us. We pay for you. Come on. We pay for this. We pay for the hats. We pay for the jerseys. Do us a favor. At least win a goddamn game for once in your life instead of standing with your finger up your ass looking for dingleberries. I'm not going to accept it. It's poorly piss poor and acceptable. Connor, if you were in my situation, what would you do in a situation like that if you caught this team being like this? What would you do in a situation?
I would call for the head of the head coach. I would call for the head of the general manager. I'd call for the head of everyone.
I know the first thing you'd tell them is, sorry to tell you, but unfortunately, you're fired. You can't cut it here. I mean, here's the difference. And here's the funny part. New York City's the toughest city in America. We bring these guys here, and what the hell are they doing? Oh, we're looking for the pit. No. When Parcells was here, he made sure his boys learn the game, win the game, bust their ass, break some backs, break some bones. Sure, a couple guys get injured. So what? That's why we always get reserves. But this team doesn't know when to use the reserves. I mean, where's Prickett? Where's he at? I'd like to see him come off the bench. Yeah, I want to see him get off the bench. Where's A.Z. Thomas? Where's all the other new guys we got? Let these kids play. Let them play.
Let the kids play. Beast, I think that's a perfect message.
These kids need to get on the ropes, and they need to take a beating. I mean, they're sitting there pretty like they're freshmen. They haven't learned yet. Give them a chance. These kids need to get off their ass instead of sitting on the bench looking pretty. And Aaron Glenn needs to do this now. Now is the time to fight. Now it's the time to survive. Because we're 2 weeks away from the bye week. We've got to start turning some heads around. If we don't do that now, where's this team going to wind up? I know we're going to wind up in the toilet.
Boom.
Yeah, that's bad. This is bad. And I'm not going to accept it anymore. And I'm going to give them my fair share after this season that, I'll give them my number. They can give me a call. Because I got some guys. I got 2 guys who would love to have this job. 2 big boys that love this job. I know my tricks. It's all up here. Everything is common sense. And come after this season, if we win 6 games, okay, fine. But here's the thing. Clemens has to go. And next year, if possibility, let's please, for the love of Christ, please re-sign Eccles. Why the hell did you give him to Pittsburgh in the first place? He was one of your best players. And then you throw Rodgers away, and then Devontae Adams, and then you throw Eccles away. What the hell are you doing? That was a key mistake, number one bad move right there. And then you bring half these jack-offs here from Salah's regime. Like, my God, why? This team don't have no balls. They got little teeny weeny frankfurters,
That's an image I'm not going to be able to get out of my head now.
What's that? That's pretty low. You gotta go for the throat, man. This team has no balls. They're chicken. They're too yellow. They sit on their ass. They complain constantly. And also, what the locker room needs to do, put in an ice bath. Yes, this will actually. No, they actually need to. They need to do it with ice bath. You know why? Because this will give the team a chance to reheal all the bones back in their system, whatever's been injured, and then stay off the field for a month. At least a month. So I'm asking, is this hard? No. This is not a hard sport. This is simple shit we've all learned since we were kids. Come on. We represent this. We represent this. It's time to tell this team, get your balls back in form and start acting like a goddamn team. Because if you don't want to be here,
you're done.
There's the door.
Beast, I love it that you made a lot of points here. Thank you for the call, my friend. Enjoy the game.
Thank you, Beast.
Holla, player.
What a way to end it. We do have the inactive, so I wanted to pull that up. Let's see. Nope, wrong button here. I'm pulling it up right now, Connor. Don't mind me.
All good.
Okay, here we go. Here is a look at the Jets inactive. If StreamYard unfreezes, boom, there we go. Garrett Wilson, no surprise there. Michael Carter, Quantez Stiggers, Cam Jones, Esapole, Tyler Barron, Jelani Woods. Will we ever see Jelani Woods, Connor?
I don't think so. The player who I first reported signing with the Jets, I don't know if we'll ever see him actually suit up in a Jet uniform. This is a perfect opportunity for Jamarcus Weston, Matt. He's active, off injured reserve, made a difference for the Jets in the preseason. Now, he has an opportunity to potentially take the role away from Cam Jones as that gunner, as a primary special teamer. I doubt the Jets will carry both Jones and Weston on their 53-man roster post this week. So that's an interesting situation to monitor, of course. So a nice opportunity for Weston. And I will add this. I don't know if you've noticed this, but Brian Costello, every time he takes a picture from the press box before the game, he puts so-and-so revenge game. For example, last week, week 1, it was Brandon Eccles' revenge game. Week 5, it was Solomon Thomas' revenge game. This week, it's Rob Moore, former Jets wide receiver coach. It's his revenge game to get the Jets back.
Yeah, let's did he tweet it out? Yeah, he did. Wow, look at this. Rob Moore, wide receivers coach, revenge game. It doesn't get any better than that. Thank you, Kaz. Much appreciated.
It really doesn't. So overall, it's going to be an interesting game for the Jets today. They're going to really have to mix up their approach today because a lot of people forget the Panthers have a good defense. Like, they
especially
can stop
against
the run.
Again,
especially against the run, they can stop the pass. Like, they're going to make Justin Fields beat them. That's going to be their approach entering today's game, if you ask me.
You are 100% right. We will get back to your comments. We have another super chat to get to in a moment. Just want to shout out the sponsor of the pregame show, Sleeper. Connor, I'm going to give you my sleeper picks. I made 3 sleeper picks this week. First is Rico Dowdle, 50-plus rushing yards in this game. I have Mason Taylor, 40-plus receiving yards, and Breece Hall, more than 16.5 rushing attempts. So if you sign up using my promo code O'Leary, you can get a deposit match up to $100. You can win up to 1,000 times your money if your picks win. All you have to do is make your picks more or less than the predicted stats they give you. You could do it pregame. You could do it live. Sign up using promo code O'Leary. Terms and conditions apply. What are we thinking on those picks?
Love the picks. I saw it was like Justin Fields over under 1.5 passing touchdowns. Everyone out there, stay away from that. Don't touch that.
Yes.
That is not a line that I think has much upside or would hit. So I'd say stay away from that. I like the picks overall. Dowdle would be the only one maybe I'd question. I have Dowdle in fantasy. I've started on the past 3 weeks. What was it? 58.5, you said?
I just put it 50 plus. I did an alternate
50 plus.
50 plus.
Okay, so 50 plus. That's gonna come close in my opinion because Chuba Hubbard's back this week. So we're gonna see what happens with him.
I'm most nervous about that one with Chuba coming back. They said they're going to split carries this week, but Rico's put up 2 back-to-back monster games. I feel like they just ride the hot hand, especially with Chuba Hubbard coming back off the injury.
Rico Dowdle helped me take down both Michael Nania and ESPN's Matt Miller in fantasy. So Rico Dowdle will always be an unsung hero for me in fantasy. By the way, Matt, I don't know how your fantasy team's doing, but I'm 5-1 in my league with Matt Miller. I'm 6-0 in our Jets X Factor league, and then I'm like 2-3 in another league. So
we're
really
starting to fall. I'm in 2 leagues, and I had Malik Neighbors in both leagues. So I started hot, and I have been ice cold the last about 3 weeks. So I'm hovering around 500 in both leagues right now. It's been a bit of a struggle bus for me.
I'm in one league right now where I'm 2-3, but I had no clue it was a non-PPR league because I've only played in PPR leagues. So I went heavy on receivers, and I thought this was going to work out, this approach. I just don't think it was. I'm never doing this again. I went way too heavy on the Philadelphia Eagles. So my starting lineup, I have Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, and Devonta Smith all on my team. So that I thought I was good because I've had Hurts every single year he's been a starter, and he's been nothing but great for me. So like, you know what? Let me add Saquon. Let me add his whole crew because then every completion he makes, pretty much, I'm going to get points for it. And hasn't worked out all that great so far.
That's unfortunate. Alexi chimes in, says, y'all hyped for another Jets loss this week. We haven't made our official predictions yet, but where's your head at with how this game's going to go for the Jets?
I think I had it 27-17 was my final score prediction in Carolina's favor. Just can't pick the Jets to win. They haven't won a game. Why am I picking them to beat a team that just upset the Dallas Cowboys, a team that killed the Jets by 2 scores a couple weeks ago? So I simply can't pick the Jets to win today, Matt.
I didn't pick them either. I don't have it as high scoring as you. I think I had it 20-13. Panthers win. I'm at a spot like you got to prove it. I want to pick the Jets, but they have to prove it to me first before I'm back in the spot where I'm picking them.
Most definitely, completely agree there.
All right, let's go back to the phone line. We got someone else on the line. Our guy Yeti up next. Yeti, what's going on?
Hey, sorry. As soon as I switched to StreamYard, my internet kind of went to crap. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. I just wanted to, I'm not going to talk about the Jets too much here. I wanted to just, I don't know. We just beat a dead horse. But Connor, I wanted to ask, is that hoodie you're rocking? Is that NFL?
I believe so. I got it for my birthday. I believe it's NFL shop. I'm gonna try to check.
Okay, because I'm just thinking I got this one here. Wait, let me.
Yeah, I think it's
there we go. So
the old one.
It's just like a couple years. It's like the 2 years before that one. Yeah.
Nice.
But it's probably the same sweatshirt, just 2 years older. But yeah, that's all I got. I don't know. Hopefully Brees has a good game. But they're going to be keying on him. They're going to be watching him, and it's going to be hard for him to break out when they're stacking the box like that. So it's going to be an interesting game, you know. But I'll watch all of them. So we'll see how it goes.
You're a diehard like the rest of us, Yeti.
A defeated diehard like all of us as well.
Yeah. The gray hairs. I shaved. Okay, I shaved my head the other day. All of it. Okay, I'm blonde-haired, blue-eyed. All of it was gray. It was all gray. I shaved it and I threw it in a bag and looked at it. It was all gray. I was like, what the fuck?
What is this?
All right. Anyway. Exactly. What are they doing to us? Talk to you guys. Bye.
All right. Later.
Thank you, Yeti.
Good stuff from our guy Yeti there.
Absolutely. Well said. This team kills all of us. It turns us gray.
I was just gonna say it's a little bit of everything. I'm starting to get it, not a ton, but a little bit on the chin hair, and the beard is turning gray. That's what happens.
I'm gonna be full Robbie Saboed by the time I'm 17.
It very well is trending that way. Barney's back with another one. Says, I'm a diehard too. I just don't want to die. So like the who's the tight end coach with the quote?
Oh, Rod Middleton.
Rod Middleton. Yeah. Everyone want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die.
Yeah. He's had a few great quotes, and they somehow fired him this offseason.
Maybe not a great coach, but a great quote. That's for
exactly. Well said. I mean, the Senior Bowl, the hit it. I actually know some people who have purchased that T-shirt. So if he was still with the Jets, I would have bought it. But he's not with the Jets anymore. I think the Jets' current tight end coach is Jeff Blasco. is his name, and he's done a fine job. Mason Taylor's been okay. Ruckert has had a little resurgence. Stone Smart is active every game but can't play a snap. So tight end room is interesting. They're going to rely a lot there today because Mason Taylor is going to be, I think, like the Jets pass catcher 2 today if I had to make a prediction.
I agree with you. I think he's going to be utilized a lot. That's why I picked him with 40 plus yards. I don't imagine that Fields throws it a ton. And I don't think they I think their leading receiver could be like right around 50 yards. So that's kind of why I went a little bit more on the conservative side and went with 40 plus for Mason Taylor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think he can hit that. Like, I go back and watch the film. The guy is open, like literally every single play. They just don't have a quarterback who can get the ball in his direction. So, like, that's the part that is tough about it. And I think, Matt, if we see a performance that resembles anything we saw from Justin Fields at halftime of last week, Aaron Glenn is going to have to pull the plug. There is no excuse for this. I can't do the riding and dying by Justin Fields thing. He has to make a decision.
Yeah, and especially too, because we were talking about how important it is for him to win games, man. Like, you can't afford to just be like, I'm going to go down with the Justin Fields ship if that's what it starts looking like. At this point, like, dude, if you're down, I don't know, 9-3 at the half, and the Jets have like 12 yards of offense, you're in that game. You have to get for it, man. Like, do whatever you can to try to win the game. That's where I'm at.
Absolutely. And I said this last night. The only explanation I could possibly come up with for maybe as to why Justin Fields has stayed in these games is the Jets had like a handshake agreement and it was like, no matter what, we're riding and dying by you. I disagree with that absolutely, but like that's the only conclusion I can possibly come up with to explain the fact why he's still starting, why he's still playing. This is the whole thing with Glenn. And I put this in an article for JetX I released last night. Like, he did this all to himself. The reason that fans are coming after him, he really did this all to himself. If he didn't come in and try to raise the expectations times 100, preach that, oh, this is different, we're not the same old Jets, blah, 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 nobody would be trying to rip his head off right now. The thing that annoyed everyone so much is that he preached accountability, 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 and he's not benching the quarterback who had negative 10 net passing yards last week. Like, that's the thing that is frustrating, I think, this fan base the most with Aaron Glenn. And he did this all to himself. He really, really did. This is fully self-inflicted from AJ.
So I have a question back to Jets mess, says bad take O'Leary. So
I don't think I've actually ever heard Matt make a bad take. I'll put that out there as well.
Wow.
I've had my fair share of bad takes. I don't think you have. And I'm being fully honest.
I've had bad takes. It happens. Everyone has takes that doesn't come true. That's the game.
When we do this for a living, that's what happens. Exactly.
Correct. But if the Jets have 12 yards of offense and a half, are you not pulling the quarterback? Is that too harsh of a reality? Is my question. Or if that's not what's the bad take then?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was a very, very fair take from you, Matt. So I'm not in agreement with mess right there.
No. Now, what I did want to go to, Connor, is our bold takes. We're 45 minutes in. We're reaching the back half of the show. Last week, I had a Mason Taylor touchdown as my bold take. That didn't come true. You had a Juwan Briggs sack. I also don't think that one came true.
No, I also said a Harrison Phillips forced fumble. They forced a fumble, but it wasn't Harrison Phillips. And I said the Jets would recover it. So I got like half.
I'll give you a half point for that one. Yeah. Give you a half point. Where's your head at this week?
Give me a Kene Nwangu rushing touchdown.
Oh, okay. Nwanu rushing touchdown. He had a great return last week.
Oh my, that play was special. Like, I went back and watched it. Like, he literally just pushed himself up off the ground. He kept driving his feet, hopped the defender on the ground, kept his feet clean, and just kept chugging and chugging. That was an incredible return. And did you see the report from Diana Rossini that the Jets are interested in trading for a returner?
No, I didn't see that, but
so
I don't
she came out
that happening. But
she mentioned that Jermaine and Brees have been getting a lot of interest, and also that the Jets have explored trading for a returner. Why? Why would they give up assets for a kick returner? They have a great one right now in Kene Nwangu. The team's not contending. That isn't make or break for the playoffs. I just want the Jets to have a fire sale. I don't even care who they bring in at this point.
Okay, I'll give you my bold take. Ready for this?
Yep.
The Jets get their first interception of the season today.
Who is it? This doesn't count. This doesn't count. Just side note. Who is it?
I'm going to say Malachi Moore.
Wow.
So one of the safeties, I think it'll be like a deep shot that they try to take that one of the safeties picks off, and I'll say it's Malachi Moore.
Okay, I like that. If I had to make a prediction for someone to get a pick today, I'd say Jarvis. I don't know. I might have to say Jarvis Brownlee. It wouldn't be Sauce because Sauce is going up against Ted. I don't think he's getting a pick against Ted. Let's be honest. So I think it's Brownlee or Malachi Moore is a fair one. Will Tony Adams play 100% of the defensive snaps today? I think that's a interesting question.
I don't think he will.
Remember, he played 100% of the snaps in week 4. It's like these tone deaf moves are just ridiculous. Reluctant Earthlings is hot take. Clemens does something horrible, and no one is safe.
You know what? I've been very, very hard on Michael Clemens, and I would say deservingly so. But he's played pretty good the last 2 weeks, and he drew the holding penalty in the end zone that resulted in the safety. So I think you got to give him some credit for that at least. Tony Adams played 0 snaps last week, so I'm going to say maybe more than 0, but I think Malachi Moore plays pretty much a majority of the snaps.
Yeah. That'll be interesting to watch because MC2 is out today again. Look, Brownlee could be something special here. Like Brownlee could change the trajectory for what the Jets want to do at nickel because he still has 2 more years of team control after this as well. So keep an eye for Brownlee to continue to be a difference maker.
All right, let's go back to the phone lines. JJ is on the line. We'll go out to him next. JJ, what's going on?
You know, I saw the Connor that you were on, and I was like, oh, shoot, I got to call in and say what's up. Real quick, though, this is going to sound crazy. I think we get our first win today, right?
Okay.
Then I think we're going to win. We're going to win out. We're going to start winning some games. Not win out, but I think we're going to end up finishing the season 9-8. I don't think we'll win out, but I think we get our first win today is going to change the trajectory of the season.
Wow.
We're going to go 9-8. And then we might possibly sneak into the playoffs. We might either sneak in or just miss it. Now, I know I sound delusional, right? But I've been thinking about this, right?
Okay.
This is such a historically bad start to a season that there's going to be a historic turnover. That's I'm going with my heart. So I'm on my way to the game. I actually wasn't going, but then I just woke up and something in me was like, you guys are going to win today. Justin Fields is going to ball out. I think Sauce is going to get the interception. He's going to get a pick 6. I could be wrong. I think Sauce gets a pick 6 today, and we're just going to be flying around the field today, man. I'm telling you. And then we're going to go 9-8, sneak into the playoffs, or just barely miss it. I think we could get that last playoff spot. I got optimism. I got hope. I know you guys are going to tell me I'm crazy. I don't care. You know, this is life of a Jets fan right here, man.
Is your friend left in the car?
Yeah, but I mean, he's the most. He's the most negative, Jets fan. You guys used to call me a negative Jets fan. You should see this guy. So I think we're gonna do something big today, man. I feel really good. I feel really good about it.
That is, I'll say this. That is significantly more optimistic than where I'm at right now, JJ. But yes. I hope you are. I hope you're right. And I hope you prove all of us wrong. I can't get there right now. I
think because when you think about it, like a lot of the teams that we're going to start playing, if we can win today, a lot of the teams we're going to start playing don't have a quarterback, right? And I know you guys are going to say Justin Fields isn't a quarterback either, but he showed us something the first game. And then as a offensive staff, they've gotten away from it. They got away from play action completely. I don't even think how many play action passes did he attempt, or did we attempt as a team in London? I was at that London game. I was sitting there and I'm like, you guys, the pass rush is getting to him every time. Why don't we throw a screen? Why don't we, play action, do something to slow the pass rush down, make them think twice? And guess what? None of that happened. So I think if we get back to what we were doing in the first week of the season, we can have some success with Justin Fields. And I think Aaron Glenn, he's coaching for his job at this point. So he's going to get desperate, and desperate times calls for desperate measures. I put a parlay today for Tyler Johnson to get 2 touchdowns. Why did I do it? No, because you know what I noticed a lot of times with like a guy like Justin Fields, when they don't have their number 1 receiver out there, they don't become deer in headlights. They don't just look for him every play and get hesitant. He's going to have to spread the ball around if he wants any success. So I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does,
I don't know if Justin Fields is going to throw 2 touchdowns.
listen, Justin Fields, man, he's gonna throw 2 touchdowns today. Hopefully, they both go to. You know what's funny? Now I'm thinking I don't know if I did it for Josh Reynolds or Tyler Johnson, but whatever I did it. So let's go.
I like the optimism.
JJ, enjoy the game today, and hopefully this is the start of the 9-2 run that the Jets are going to go on to close their season.
Yes, sir. 9-2, man. Why not us? Think about it. Why not us?
Why not us?
Because they're the Jets.
Oh man, what a call! What a call! That was
as good as it gets. Putting a parlay on Tyler Johnson, two touchdowns.
Either we don't know. It could be Tyler Johnson. It could be Josh Reynolds for 2 touchdowns today. I want that to hit so badly, and we need to talk to JJ next week. If this is the turnaround that happens, and the Jets are ready and primed to go on a 9-2 runs from 0-6 to 9-8 and the 7 seed, let's freaking go. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Sign me up for that. I was sitting before the game last night, and I was like, not last night, excuse me, last week, and I was like, well, if they win today, then they have an easy schedule. Then these teams do this and this and this. And I was literally drawing up playoff predictions in my head before the game starts. And I'm like, I am such a sicko. I just need to stop doing this right now. Like,
I'm not even playoff predict. In my head now, I'm like, all right, how can we get this team to 6 wins? Just so it's not like a complete downright disgusting season. But
yeah, and I see all these Rodgers truthers doing victory laps. Rodgers has been good, sure. He has played he's played a role in that 4-2 start, absolutely. But that's on the heels of that defense. Rodgers has not been very, very good. Like, it's just the record is deceiving, but really, he hasn't been all that great.
No, it's been a lot of underneath stuff, which is working. Like, they are 4-2. They're more than likely going to be a playoff team. It doesn't change the fact that Rodgers was going to count for $63 million on the cap in 2026 if they brought him back.
Yeah, that, and also I will add this. I picked up Rodgers in fantasy last week, and he threw 2 interceptions. So he did hurt me with the 2 interceptions, but he still got me 24 points in a PPR league. It was tough for me to root for him, but I did it, and he got me some points. And the 63 million also, like, we don't know how he'd fit with Engstrand, and we don't know how he'd clash with AG. I blame the Jets telling Rodgers to go kick rocks more so on Woody Johnson than Aaron Glenn. I don't think Woody really wanted. I don't think Woody interviewed anyone who would have wanted Rodgers back.
No, I'm with you on that one. We got a couple bold opinions in the chat that I wanted to pull up here. One is Jets will probably get the win today, but JJ is nuts. So we got Molin Lob who's saying that it will be a Jets win today. How about this one from Sean? A Malachi Moore touchdown today. So a pick 6 or a fumble recovery 6?
I guess so. That has to be it. How else would he get a touchdown? So going bold, Malachi Moore touchdown today. I thought you were going bold with the pick. You got someone going even bolder than you with the touchdown prediction there. So interesting take. I hope it pays off.
Park Bum says Panthers going to win by 40. That would count as a bold take.
Yeah, I guess so, but it's the Jets, so I could see that happening. It's going to be interesting today, Matt. It's going to have to do with the defense. The defense is going to have to deliver a game like last week, and the offense is going to have to play league average.
Jack says, stop, Connor. This team would be better with Rodgers. I think they would be 1-5 or 2-4 right now.
They wouldn't be winless, absolutely. But there's people who are like, oh, if the Jets had Rodgers and Adams, they'd be in playoff contention right now. Absolutely not. They'd maybe have a win or 2, nothing franchise altering. So I think if you keep Rodgers, you have a win or 2 right now. You finish the year with maybe 6 or 7 wins, and you have to pay the guy $63 million, and the organization's in turmoil. So it's not that big of a difference, guys. It really isn't.
Jason Edwards chimes in with a member chat, says, hey, Matt, what jersey to wear? Chris Ivory, Lavernius Coles, or Thomas Jones? You choose. Honestly, I like the Thomas Jones jersey. I used to have a Thomas Jones jersey when I was
2000s running back.
Yeah, he was a very underrated Jet. I was thinking about Thomas Jones this week. I don't know why, but I was. So I'm going to vote for Thomas Jones, Jason.
I like it. I'd say Lavernius Coles because the Jets need a receiver to deliver a performance to the likes of which Lavernius Coles did multiple times in his tenure with the Jets. I like Chris Ivory too. I mean, I like all those guys. I mean, remember when the Jets actually had like a factory of running backs that they would just wheel in and would do incredible things. Like I was lucky, I caught the end of Bilal Powell's career. That's the last
Fan
good running
favorite.
back I've been able to see. I mean, how can you not love Powell? I mean, I sat through the Frank Gore days. That's when I was like really first getting into the Jets. They were so hard to watch. It was Frank Gore averaging 2 yards a carry. It was terrible.
See, I was spoiled when I was first getting into the Jets. It was Curtis Martin running for 1,400-yard seasons.
Oh my God! So you got into it. Were there a lot of kids who were like Jet fans when you grew up, just because they were so good as well?
They were good. I mean, in the early, I don't really remember 2002. They made the playoffs. They won the division that year. I was 8 years old in 2003, and that's really the first year that I claim like knowing what was going on. I knew players and stuff before then, but yeah, I mean, they made the playoffs in 98, 01, 02, 04, 06. Winning record in 2008, didn't make it 2009 and 10. So first 15 years of my life, it was pretty much every other year the Jets were making the playoffs.
Damn, that's a blessing. I mean, something that I find surprising, more kids I know, or I think like the average kids my age, like I know a lot more kids who are just general sports fans who are like big baseball fans over football, which is interesting because
Okay.
I'm a big baseball fan myself, but I've always thought of baseball as like the dying sport where America's pastime, like there are not many kids getting into it. And I've actually noticed like there are a lot of kids, at least around here on Long Island, that are big like Met fans. The Met fan base has grown, which is great to see. I don't know why anyone would choose to root for the Mets over the Yankees, who's just getting into baseball, but that's a story for another day. So look, the Jets, it's crazy to think, I think I might have said this last week, but my whole generation I'm 14 years old. We haven't been alive to see this team appear in a playoff game, let alone like actually remember a playoff game. Like, I literally have not been alive since the Jets have won a playoff game or appeared in a playoff game. It's been that bad.
That's sad. That's very sad because I know they never did won a Super Bowl or anything, but the Jets had a few very fun seasons in my early days. 2004 was really fun. 09 and 10 was really fun. There was once a time where I used to look forward to and really enjoy watching football Sundays and Jets games, but I still watch, after the Jets games, I'll turn on Red Zone and the Sunday night game, obviously, but it's not the same. When your team's good and winning games, it's just so much more fun. It really is.
1000% agree, and I just don't feel like the season ever started. Like, there's never going to be a win. Whenever they win, if it's today, if it's in 2 weeks, I'm never going to have like that great victory Monday feeling where I'm so excited and I can wear my Jet jersey, loud and proud, because the season never got started. They're 0-6. It's point blank period. I'll ask you this. I'll give you a history question here. What do you think's a bigger what if in Jets history? Vinny Testaverde not tearing his Achilles, or what if Rodgers didn't tear his Achilles?
I'm going to say probably Vinny, even though
Agreed.
like I wasn't around to really remember it.
Yeah.
But they were a 12-4 team in the AFC Championship game the year before. And
they had the lead against the Denver Broncos at halftime or whatever that game. Like, yeah, that for me is the clear answer. What if Rodgers didn't get hurt? I mean, that's like a whole nother avenue. This team is built off what ifs, though. That's the issue. What if the Jets had a kicker last year? Like, that's the problem when it comes to being a Jet fan. They're built off what ifs, and now you're seeing what the New York Giants have been able to do, stringing together these wins. Like, why can't the Jets do that? There are no excuses. Sure, the Giants might have some more defensive talent, but they have a head coach fighting for his job in Brian Daboll. They do have a young quarterback, but they play hard. They don't commit penalties. They're not stupid. They have great play calling. Like, why can't the Jets just be like the Giants? But I will say, however, I think Giants fans, because they beat the Eagles on Thursday night, are now acting like the Giants are like 5-0 and 5-1. Yeah, they're still 2-4 or whatever they are right now. They got to calm down, those Giants fans now.
A little bit. Higher John Gruden says bigger what if. What if the Jets never gave up and traded Sammy Darnold away? It took till year 7 for him to get to this point, though. Like, were they going to give him?
The Jets had the coaching staff and the weapons for him to thrive.
I think the better argument is if the Jets had a better coaching staff, like you said, or a better all-around team when Sam Darnold came into the league, I think maybe the development goes differently. But I mean, like I said, it took him to year 7 to really pop.
That's like saying, what if the Jets kept Geno Smith? Like, it's kind of like Geno Smith was terrible with the Jets. Sam Darnold was not very good with the Jets. Took him a while as well. It's not like this is a guy who the Jets traded away and instantly he became great. He was a backup in Carolina for a handful of years. It's crazy to think him and Baker Mayfield were on the same
On the
team.
same team, yeah.
That's
I think that's worse than the Jets one, right? Like having both Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, I think is more embarrassing for the Panthers than it is.
I think that owner is worse than Woody Johnson. Tepper, he's as bad as it gets over there in Carolina. At least they got the head coach hire right. Like I really like Dave Canales. I think he's a very, very good coach. And again, hot shot offensive mind. Like the Jets need to start rolling the dice on these offensive minded head coaches. Defensive coordinators, they don't work much at the NFL level. Sure, they might raise your floor a little bit, but not your ceiling. So I've always been in the boat, Matt. I think defensive coordinators turn head coaches win championships. Hotshot offensive coordinators win Super Bowls. That's my opinion.
Okay. That's, a lot of the winners of the most recent Super Bowls are offensive coaches, and there are significantly more offensive head coaches in the league now than defensive head coaches. So that's the way the league's trending. I don't want to be out on Aaron Glenn yet. He's got a lot to prove. That's kind of how we started this show. There's 11 more games left. Yep. He's got to start showing that he can be an answer here over the next 11.
Absolutely. I mean, I really don't think there's a world where they move off of him now. Like the only situation I see it is 0-17, 1-16. If it's that bad, maybe they pull the plug. But like I don't see anything being imminent when it comes to moving off Glenn.
No, I don't think so either. I'm with you on that.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's get our predictions. We've just crossed the hour mark. Final predictions and thoughts for this game.
I think it's going to be a very interesting game for New York. If they're going to win the game today, it's going to have to be through the air. They're going to be at a disadvantage without Garrett Wilson. They're going to make Justin Fields. The Carolina Panthers are going to make Justin Fields beat them. So Fields is negative 10 net passing yards at halftime. You got to pull him out of the game, and you got to put Tyrod Taylor in there. I need a big game out of Aaron Glenn coaching-wise. I need to see improvement game management-wise, and you need the defense and special teams to repeat a performance like we saw last week. Offense, say league average. It's a slew of things that are going to need to happen for the Jets to win today, but there is a universe where they pull it off.
Yeah, no, I definitely think there is, and it is only a 1.5 point spread. It's very likely to be a close game. If the Jets are to win this one, I think this is obvious, but you need a massive bounce back game from Justin Fields in this one.
Yep.
But I think you need the offensive coaching staff and specifically Tanner Engstrand to get creative. They don't have their best offensive player in Garrett Wilson. Their wide receiver room is awful that they're tossing out there today. Can you do some creative things to have any sort of success on offense? And that could even be scoring 17 points. If the defense plays like it did last week, that might be enough to win. So what can you do to get some success going offensively?
Certainly, and Matt, we didn't miss much of a great game over in London. 21-0 is the score right now. Rams, Jaguars, 12:47 to go. So super fun hanging out with you guys. 473 of you guys watching us live. Again, I don't know if there are 473 Colts fans watching a live pregame podcast, and they have one loss for crying out loud. They don't deserve us, Matt. Bottom line.
They absolutely don't. But we want to thank you guys for hanging out. Before you hop out, make sure to leave a like on the stream, subscribe to both my channel and Connor's channel, and stick around. I'm sure we'll both have some post-game coverage after this game as well. Sir. But we will be back for a pregame show next week. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Matt O'Leary. He's Connor Long, and we will catch you next time.